Why are a lot of Asian tourists so rude? Fuck you French dude lol yeah it's sad. Some people are takers. Narcissist assholes. Don't let them get you down. Once on the bus I was trying to get off the bus and I asked them to move and cause they would get the hint I rushed past them and almost elbowed their head in as I rushed past cause I had places to be. Well, they're probably used to markets where doing all of that is normal and there might be a bit of a language barrier. It's how they treat each other back home. Culture norms. I went to Korea once and gave a taxi tip. Driver got mad thinking I thought so little of him that he needed more money. He looked so offended lol. Sometimes culture norms are literally opposites in different countries. Grocery shopping, especially in open markets with fresh produce and meat, is a contact sport in much of Asia. Married to a Chinese woman and have been in many parts of Asia over the last 2 decades. Try living in a densely populated country and you'll know. If you wait, chances are you'll be left with nothing. You see this as poorer countries that are rapidly developing. Waiting in line because you always have access to food is a privilege. Fellow women of Reddit. How did you know you were ready to move in together with a significant other? How old were you? And how long have you been together at that point? How did it turn out? We started seeing each other in September. And I was there just all the time. More than my own place. It just happened naturally that neither of us really wanted me to leave for very long. We didn't want to be apart if we didn't have to. By December he'd given me a key and really by April I was unofficially living there. I'd go home occasionally for like a night here and there or just to get some more stuff I needed. I left for a research trip from May to June and we decided that when I got back I would move in for real. That was 7 years ago. We are still together. Bought a house last year and moved to a whole new city. Edited to add that he's the first significant other I've ever moved in with. It just happened. I was 22. It took about 5 months. We were friends from work. Started talking more one-on-one and fell really hard for each other. I missed him like crazy when I wasn't around him and he felt the same way. We would sometimes stay up all night just drinking hot chocolate and taking walks then just go straight to work. We would go for long rides and just want to be with each other when the sun came up. We eventually started staying at each other's places and after a while I just never went home lol. We just celebrated our 9-year anniversary a few months ago and he is still the most amazing and handsome man I have ever met. My best and most loyal friend. The most generous and perfect lover. I feel very fortunate. Men. How do you feel when you open up and confide in a woman about your feelings or problems? Most people seem to not be able to grasp the fact that there is a difference between wanting someone to open up and actually being able to deal with the information you might receive when someone does. Furthermore, as others have already noted, you always risk that they use that information against you in the future or share it with others. Been there. Done that, not going to do it again. As I have never had a positive experience with it and I won't give people a chance to add more negative ones to the list. Long-term romantic partner only. And even that is a difficult thing to do if there's been any amount of conflict lately. If I had to choose between a random person giving me a colonoscopy or telling them my feelings and problems, I'd heavily consider the colonoscopy and just hope they think to Google for some instructions on how to not do damage. When people talk about toxic masculinity and quat, it's one of the main reasons. As a guy you're basically allowed anger or aroused. Anything else is likely to just be mocked. Add on the amount of guys who finally feel safe enough to open up in a relationship and shortly thereafter find themselves single and it's just another reason not to do so. It's quite the cliche here for men to say that they can never be vulnerable in front of women because they instantly lose respect or gets used against them. I'm going to give a different experience. For some years now I've had this girlfriend who, up to this point, knows every single aspect of my life. She has seen me on my lowest and my highest and has been there for me the entire time. It's strange because I've always been really closed up. But she managed to do this and I don't regret any of it. So, yes, I think men can be open and vulnerable with women. Maybe just not with every woman. They wish nobody knew them anymore. Yes, just a bit of time alone helps. Try to take a weekend alone somewhere. Even an hour away. Been thinking of this for months. Good luck. Times can be difficult. You'll get through it. It didn't work out very well for Peter Parker. Seriously though. You are probably depressed and should seek help. Sometimes I feel like just ghost out to another smallish town and starting over but it's irrelevant cause I'm still me and people are the same everywhere. I was told if you move to a new place you'll still just be you in a new place like you can't run from your problems. I got sober and moved across the country away from everyone I knew a few years ago. And it was the best decision of my life. It was a reset. What's a belief that you hold which many people disagree? The patriarchy is a psyop. A strawman created with a convenient name that points to a gender that's been slaughtered in the political arena. To misdirect from the actual class of oppressors, socio-econopolitic elites. Any assistance toward buying homes, subsidizing mortgages, keeping interest rates low, allowing lower down payments, etc., immediately results in people simply setting their sights on more expensive houses. In other words, people buy exactly at the edge of what they can afford. And that doesn't change if you make houses more affordable. This drives the price of housing higher, which then percolates down to less expensive houses. And now we're exactly where we started with affordability. Except now we've got billions of taxpayer dollars going toward existing homeowners' capital gains. That kindness is important all the time. Not just when it's easy. This is especially true when it relates to someone who holds very different opinions than you do. Just because someone strongly holds a political view you disagree with, doesn't mean they are less than human. If you engage them with empathy and respect, you might just find out their reasons for that belief aren't what you assumed. And you might both learn something. I believe that fat people have no place in the body positivity movement. And this movement to make being considerably overweight accepted is a bad thing. I think the movement should be for folks with deformities, missing limbs, burns, certain disabilities, etc. I think someone who can change their body by just eating less has no place in that group. And that fat acceptance only teaches people not to put effort into being healthy. There's a lot of misinformation spread by fat acceptance folks because they want to feel better about their bad decisions and make others accept them rather than put in the effort to change.